Hello everyone and welcome to the tutorial which will be showing you how to do Belly of the Beast on Brutal. It's a pretty simple way of going about it. You have 4 heroes, it's all about micromanagement, whereas All In will be about macro, or at least in the style I do, it'll be about macro. This is completely in contrast to that, it's all about micro. You really only have 3 heroes you need to worry about, and later on you'll be getting into Marines, Medics, and a few Fire Bats, which will help bolster your army temporarily. The advantage to this mission is that you can save often, which I highly encourage. In fact, every time you get past a checkpoint, do Control Q or whatever that quick save is, and save the mission right where it is. I also recommend getting very liberal with the hot binding keys. As you can see, I have one set up for all my troops and then one set up for each one individually. After that, all you have to do is know the hotkey command and you can use their special abilities far more efficiently than you ever could have before.
Sounds like a plan.
The great thing about the scientist is as long as you have him bound in your main army, he tends to do his job without getting in the way. He actually does it really well because the only way you can tell if somebody's doing a great job is if they're doing it and you never notice them doing it and they never get in the way. So I gotta give kudos to him and AI programming that he really never bothered me. And he's got a lot of hit points, which means he can, you know, he can make a few errors while still being alright. And he heals. So I mean, who doesn't want that? The campaign is designed in such a way that it will slow ball you the first couple of missions to allow you, or not missions, but stages and turns to allow you to understand your hero and how they work before it gets really intense and where you have to actually outwardly think and decide what's a good idea and what's not a good idea and when I should pull back. Stuff of that nature. So right here we've kind of learned the 3 abilities of our heroes. I'm going to refer to the scientist as not really a hero because he doesn't really have any active ability that you use often in combat. He's pretty passive. One thing you should do is try and keep him in the back of your army just because better safe than sorry. However, you don't need to worry about your heroes dying because thankfully the campaign style of Starcraft has transitioned beyond the use of lives like a lot of new video games. I think Halo Combat Evolved was one of the first video games to ever kind of get rid of lives altogether and have it be checkpoints that you can kind of do an infinite amount of times. In that respect, this mission is very much like that, where as you can see, Roy just took a dive on the ground and he's got a little timer for when he pops back up, which I think is a fantastic idea because nothing is more frustrating than losing your mission because somebody dies in a different video game. I really have to applaud Blizzard on that. It makes it so much easier and you can enjoy the story and have fun without having to be cosmically perpetually worried that you're going to do something. It allows you to enjoy the game. And as you see here, I picked up the first Marine checkpoint and I'm going to have to shoot down some rock debris. The way I handle my Marines is I pretty much bind them in the lowest group possible. They are not tanky, they cannot take hits, so whenever possible, try and keep them in the back, because that's where they're going to do their best work. They can't take a hit, as I said before, but they can do a good amount of damage. They can do a respectable amount of damage. So it's best to use them for the attribute alone. So you definitely want to make sure you bind them probably with your medic if you have an individual medic key binding and a total army key binding. Go ahead and throw your Marines with your medics in back, because nothing's worse than losing that little bonus damage, which they pretty much are. This is kind of a slow mission to be commentating. I can't really commentate on every specific battle because for the most part, everyone understands, oh, there's a guy, I should probably shoot him. And, oh, there's a very convenient line of people, I should probably, oh, well, here we go, we got something dynamic going on. Tychus's grenade is excellent in that situation because you have a high cluster of highly dense units, so that's when his flash is a great value, whereas Rainer's is more value when people are coming down a line and coming in a straight kind of like spaghetti thing. He is, you know, the one you want to go to because he can do that whole sweet sniper round, which is amazing. Defending this is pretty easy. Now, the game goes ahead and gives you 3 locations to toss a flame turret. However, you can toss one to the left of where I tossed mine, and it'll essentially do a pseudo coverage of 2 choke points instead of fully covering one. which I kind of recommend. Also, I should say that Tychus's grenade and Raynor's bullet will knock out the Nidus worm right away, right off the bat, which is definitely something you want to go ahead and take advantage of. It really shortens out the length of the attack. So whenever possible, you should go ahead and do that, because if you can stop the Nidus from ever popping up, you can stop every troop that would ever come out of it, which is, you know, fantastic. Who wouldn't want to do that? And the flame turret, the Betty, is just great because it takes damage and it does splash damage. It's like a glorified fire bat that can't move.
Walk the walk.
That was a bit of overkill, I will be honest, because I kind of wish I had that grenade now to shut down that Nidus worm. But, oh well, Raynor's bullet will be coming up soon. However, I do notice that people are coming up from the north, and I haven't seen a Nidus worm, so I'm going to assume there's a Nidus worm outside of my range of vision that is going to be giving me trouble.
Walk the walk.
Oh, I'm humming, right. Sometimes I forget I have a microphone, I'm just not talking to myself. The Arbiter comes by, and the Arbiter has a fair amount of hit points, so using the bullet actually doesn't do a lot of damage to solve it. So you want to make sure that you kill that in a timely fashion. However, if it's attacking something that can take a beating, like Tychus, Roy, Raynor, or the Flame Betty, go ahead and try and pick out the Zerglings and the Roaches, because that's where a core amount of damage will come from in the game. Moving on to stage 2. I guess while I have some time, I'll go ahead and talk about what is going to happen after this mission. Now, this is one of the missions where you have to choose if you want to go option A or route B. Although, strictly speaking, it would be option A or B or route A or B. But it will be one of those missions where you make a choice, and those choices have consequences, reactions, and good and bad things with it. Now, the main one with this is that you will not... You're destroying the Nidus network for the final mission, which means you'll get a lot higher concentration of Broodlords, Mutalisks, and I think Corruptors even show up in a higher number on that mission. So what you want to do with that is make sure you have a lot of really good AA. So if you have it, it might be a good idea. I'm not sure if you can access the armory on Char. I believe you can, but if you can't, I hope you've upgraded your missile turrets, and I hope you have upgraded Ghost or Spectre. I don't know if Spectre can have range of sight upgraded, but for your sake, I hope they can, because the Ghost is the best way to handle a Broodlord. Broodlords are armored, which means that marine fire is not very effective, and the snipe from a Ghost is phenomenal for that purpose. And if you have a higher range from the Ghost, you'll be better off because you can see him quicker and you can snipe him better. And then I say where your artifact will be on that plateau, you want on the top left corner an outpost of missile turrets, because they can help deflect a Mutalisk push. When the Overlords drop, I think they still drop on that particular form of hologram. When the Overlords drop, you'll be able to have something that'll kind of push them back a little bit. It'll really help out. One thing to notice is Roy's range of deployment for the Betty is actually really, really small, so don't think you can just chuck it across your screen. It's actually something that needs to be set up like 10 feet away from them, and that's 10 feet to scale, not, you know, 10 feet in your room. That'd be pretty sweet. But on that mission, you want to definitely make sure you have a bunch of ghosts going up. And yeah, so I'd say upgrade your base defense so you have the fire extinguisher. Upgrade your missile turrets in both the volley and the 75 hit points, and upgrade your ghost at bare minimum with sight and excuse me, at bare minimum with sight, and if possible with, I think they have permanent invisibility is the second upgrade. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but if it is, definitely go ahead and get that. If it's just one or an upgrade that kind of reflects from the actual gameplay where you get higher energy starting off or higher energy collection rate or whatnot, go ahead and get that one. Also an upgrade that would be pretty cool is Reserve Tech Tree, the one where all units have bonus energy, because Ghosts have energy and that fits under them, so I believe they get plus 100 energy starting out. The cap, their energy pool is raised up by 100 points, and I think they have a higher energy regeneration rate, but I'm not sure. I actually remember that off the top of my head. But at any rate, that is what you want to strive for. As you can see, Roy's having trouble dropping that